Speaking of writing and being a songwriter, what makes the difference between a good songwriter and a great songwriter?
Well, I'm humbled asking me that because I don't know if I'm considered a great songwriter. A lot of people don't even know my my work, but
Skills.
I think what makes the difference between a great songwriter and a good songwriter is a great songwriter is gonna write something that's timeless. That's gonna 100 years from now, another human being will be able to relate to. It's still gonna connect and correlate to whatever's going on Earth and just in like in the universe. A good songwriter is somebody that knows like how to commercially like do what they need to do to
Right.
make it do what it do at the time, and they got a formula and it works. But I think a great songwriter is timeless. It's something that it'll never. It's just immortal what they write about.
Okay. So now tell me who's a good songwriter and who's a great songwriter, in your opinion.
Okay.
Hey, hold on. Let me add this disclaimer in it for anybody who may see this. To even be considered a good songwriter that in itself speaks volumes.
Oh yeah.
Right. So I'm not saying, telling you to answer this to slight anybody, but I think there are levels to it, right? And there's a lot of artists that write, and there's a lot of artists that write.
Mm. See, I wish I'd had these questions first, Lord. Let me think. I'll say
Take your time.
I'll say a good songwriter, and even though I'm not necessarily so much of a fan of this person's music, I think a good songwriter is Taylor Swift.
Okay.
And I think a great songwriter is Stevie Wonder.
Okay.
Yeah. You speak. Look. We on the same page because that's whenever I think great, I always go Stevie. I always go Stevie. You know, who's another great songwriter to me? Babyface.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for me, Babyface, he's unique because he's kind of what I was talking about when I said he's like commercial. He's got the formula, but he also talks about things that are kind of timeless. But his stuff is, to me, kind of like in a certain lane. It's like lovey. It's like in the same genre of what he's talking about. To me, Stevie Wonder is just universal. He just talk about life, and that's just that resonates with me. I don't think he's so much better than Stevie Wonder. It just resonates with me because I'm super like universal like that in a way. Stevie writes it's just mystical to me.
I just feel to me Stevie Wonder has wrote some of the most beautiful songs. Like if you think about if you think about Ribbon in the Sky, those are songs that when you listen to them, you're like, damn. Good writer, The Dream, to me is a good writer.
Yeah,
like, I'm like, all right, you could write a song.
No, he's a good writer.
Yeah, but great writer, I don't know. I just don't know if his stuff is like. I think your criteria is really, really on point in terms of like timeless. I don't know if 50 years from now people are going to be playing "Shorty You a 10." 50 years from now, people will still be playing "Ribbon in the Sky" at their wedding, right?
That's true.
That's a fact.
Because 50 years from now, people are going to be still getting married. They're going to still be falling in love. But the 10, whatever that may change.
They only resonate in certain areas.
Right.
It's funny you talk about Stevie, and I'm a big proponent of imagination. It seems like you have a very big imagination, which I love. And in order to be a writer, you have to have imagination. You have to be pulling it from somewhere. But early on in your career or in your life, what was it like? You signed a deal as a teenager. So what was it like then being signed to a major label?
Oh, that situation, it's crazy because like I've done several interviews and nobody asked me really about that in detail, and I'd be kind of happy because I don't really want to talk about it that much. But I'm gonna try to keep it as short as sweet. It was one of those situations that don't happen now, like that everybody feels like if they're not a part of nepotism, they feel like, oh, I'm just going to be like singing one day somewhere and all of a sudden Clive Davis is going to hear me and say, hey, who are you? Hey, have my people call. We think it's going to happen like that, and it's not, but it was a situation like that. I was pursuing music since I was like I don't know, maybe 12 or 13. I was kind of like starting to do stuff like sing in different places and stuff. But I was about 14, and I sung at somebody's wedding, and I didn't even want to sing at the wedding. It was a close family member. We were in New York, and they had a really big, really expensive wedding, and I didn't. What I sung was "Ribbon in the Sky." I recorded "Ribbon in the Sky." That was my first song that I ever recorded. I was like 14 years old, and I recorded "Ribbon in the Sky," and I did it in New York at the time where I was. And they heard it and everything, and they were like, they kind of put me on the spot, and they were like, "Do that song, please sing the song, please sing the song." Long story short, I sung the song. I did not want to sing it, but in the audience was an executive from Warner Brothers.
Wow.
It was the person who was getting married. It was her aunt, her mom's sister. She worked for Warner Brothers, and she just literally, from me just singing "Ribbon in the Sky," 14 years old, that's where the record deal came from. And she basically just walked me in, but it, unfortunately, at the time, they didn't care how old I was. They were trying to sell sex. They did not want to.
Man.
I was
Wow.
Yeah, I tell people I used to be attractive, y'all. But I was I was songwriting in. I was writing all my own stuff. I was like, I was like a machine. I didn't need the machine. Like, I had everything. Just like now, I do everything on my own now. Whether it's in my videos, my wardrobe, my makeup, the direction, I do everything. Editing, everything, and I had like all of that, and I was fresh. I was young. I was attractive. I felt like I was a commodity, and I don't even know why they would try to like trash it like that. But that's kind of what it was, and they were just like trying to pull my creativity away from me, and they just wanted to put me in this other thing. And I can't even tell you how my mom got me out of that situation, but and I'm thankful. I would not have it any other way. I'm thankful, but I made a lot of relationships, just from that point on, and done a lot of things. But that's my little non-exciting story.
So let me ask you this though, because I think, before you came on, Rob and I were talking, and one things I was saying about Rob is I feel like things happen in life, like there's a higher power that has a grand design for us. So what was the takeaway from that? What have you learned as a result of that that's applicable to what you're doing now?
That I ain't never get nowhere on my back, and never will I. And like I said, I got 6 queens, and kids don't do what you say. They watch what you do.
What you do. That's a fact.
And that's why they know that you can turn heads with clothes on, and they understand that their talent and their gifts are worth something. And it's powerful. And so I definitely learned that, and I would never waver from like my creative force. Like, I know that my intention and where it came from was such a pure place. I never waver from that. And yeah, I may not have ever made it to the big stage of the 30,000 people crowd and stuff like that, but there's people that's been listening to me since I've been 14 years old. People that they stand by. I don't even like the term fans. I just say supporters, people who support me, just like them. But at the same time, I just learned how to stand 10 toes down.
That's right.
And especially we're in the entertainment industry, and that's
integrity.
Important. That's super important, especially for a woman, and especially for a brown woman, because I've never seen any other woman in music in particular that is exploited the way a brown woman is. I don't know why. I don't understand the concept of performing a song in a gymnastics leotard. Like, I don't understand that. I'm not trying to down these other women. This is a different time. They're beautiful and everything else, but it's like this whole thing. I don't see the non-black women in music that they're not doing. At least if they're doing it by choice and not by force. I feel like there's an unspoken thing, like, we have to do this. We gotta look like this. We gotta show this in order to get eyes on us. And I'm rebuking that. I've been rebuking that for the longest.
Amen.
You should, sis. Rebuke all of it.